Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing. It's Thursday night, which means it's time for the Front Row Racing World Series Round 14 in Suzuka, Japan. The circuit that the World Championship drivers raced at last night, and it's now time for the World Series guys to give it a go. Now, the Suzuka International Racing Course, with the first Grand Prix here in 1987. Number of laps for our drivers this evening will be 27, and the circuit length is 5.807 kilometres, with Kimi Räikkönen holding the lap record around here with a 131.540, which he posted in 2005. Now, I'm from Row Racing DP, otherwise known as Dave Lays in Beds. I'll be doing commentary this evening, and I'll be joined in the commentary box by my argumentative partner in crime this evening, from Row Racing RI, otherwise known as Rachel Brooks. How are you this evening, Ray? Should we get the argument going straight away? How are you this evening, Ray?
I'm okay. I'm a bit tired, but not as tired as you.
Well, we haven't thrashed it out yet. I am tired, and I did say to you we'll argue it when we're in qualifying. But let's do it now. Okay, you say you're tired. You've not had much sleep, so go on. Then how much sleep did you get last night?
Only a couple hours.
Only a couple. You know what? Let me go and get my little violin out, and it might take me a while to find it. Right? Here's my story of last night. I had a flat inspection today. There was here sometime between 9 and 1. So, okay, I know I'll get an early night. So I'm in bed for 3 o'clock. My first alarm went off at 8 o'clock. When I hit snooze was the first point I went to sleep. So I slept from 8 until 8:30 when the next snooze button was pressed, and then from 8:30 to 9 o'clock when the next snooze button was pressed. So I'll beat you by an hour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I think commentary this evening is going to be absolutely diabolical, because I don't know what it's like for you, but I've got blurred vision, slurring my words. I feel like I've been on the beers today, and I haven't had a drink for months. Okay, shall we concentrate on what we really should be? And that is the race result from last week, round 13 in Singapore, and the current driver standings and the constructors standings. So the classified result then for Singapore: Hindle took the victory, Rickster took second place, Hybrid Nuke third place, Casely fourth, Acorn fifth, Dave the Harp sixth, Zamore seventh in as a reserve driver, and 69 eighth, Front Row Racing NW ninth, and then we had Front Row Racing GP 10th with a DNF, Andy Russell 11th with a DNF, Adam 4600 12th with a disqualification for no race footage, and then Charlie and Farfber, who did not race. Rickster got driver of the day for a great effort by him in Singapore, taking pole and very nearly the victory, showing the pace the team found in previous races is inherently there in the car and the driver. Team of the day went to Victoria's Secret Williams Racing, that's Hindle and Hybrid Nuke. Another great result for the team, taking them within reaching distance of confirming the Constructors' Championship. They currently have a gap of 249 points to second place, and there's a maximum of 258 points available from the last 6 races. So it is possible, although with me and Ray being tired, our maths are going to be out the window, it is possible that the Williams team could take the Constructors' title here in Suzuka. Okay, on to the drivers' standings then. And leading the way in the Drivers' Championship, we have Hindle on 256 points. He's opened up a little bit of a gap to his teammate now, who is on 231 points. We've then got Front Row Racing GP in third place on 122 points, and Dave the Harp has closed the gap into him and is now on 116 in fourth place. However, Rickster in 5th place has closed the gap in on the both of them and is on 110 points, so he's only 6 behind Dave the Harp. We've then got Casely in 6th place on 88 points, Acorn 95 in 7th on 67 points, and then we've got Richie Davey, who is back with us this week. He's in 8th place on 42 points, and then we've got Ant 69 on 39 points. I wish the drivers didn't have numbers numbers in their names. It makes it sort of very confusing. Oh God, Adam 4600 is then in 10th place and he's on 33 points. It gets worse. We've got in 12th place. No, my apologies. In 11th place, we've got Andy Russell, 18,968. Please get rid of the numbers. He's on 18 points. And then we've got Charlie, who is now in with us. He's in 12th place on 13 points. And then we've got Farthba, who's not with us at the moment, in 13th place on 9 points. And Front Racing and W in 14th place on 5 points. Okay, on to the constructors' standings then. As I mentioned, Victoria's Secret Williams Racing are on 487 points. Second place is Killer Acorn Mercedes, they're on 238 points. And then we've got Midlands Madness Ferrari on 218 points. McCharles McLaren Honda are in 4th place on 143. And then Underdog Racing Red Bull on 72. In 6th place, we have Godolphin Sauber. They're on 66 points. And in 7th place is Nightfarth Manamarusha on 50 points. And for anyone that's watching and wondering how, for instance, Nightfarth Manamarusha have got 50 points, but their drivers have only got 14 between them, it's points the reserve drivers have scored on their behalf. Okay, what time are we at? Ray, have I rolled over into the half past?
We're half past. We're ready to go.
Okay, if you want to click ready then, and we'll send the drivers over to the paddock. And you know what? I've got a feeling it's going to be wet for the drivers this evening. I don't want it to be. But I don't know. I've just got a feeling that it is going to rain for the World Series drivers this evening. But there's only one way we'll know for sure, and that is to send the drivers to where they want to be. Now, the question of the day. The question of the day is something that Front Row Racing GP's been doing in the World Championship commentary, and I've kind of stolen his idea, but taken it in a completely different direction. So, are you ready for the question of the day, Ray?
Yes, I am. Sorry, I had to monitor from the kids, so you can't hear them scream.
No problem. Okay. Is Front Row Racing GP going to put intermediate tyres on? Oh, wait a moment. I think Front Row Racing GP may have just been disconnected. I'm not sure. I'm fairly sure I just saw his name disappear off the lobby list. I was going to say, is he going to qualify on a set of intermediate tyres on a dry track as he has done for the last 2 weeks?
Oh, I don't know, but I'll just rewind the video, just double check.
Oh, it's a beautiful sunny day here for the Front Row Racing World Series Round 14 Suzuka in Japan. Hopefully for the drivers the weather will stay as it is, and we will see if Front Row Racing GP is in. He's not. So it looks like he did get disconnected on the way through. Yeah. So hopefully he's going to be able to get into the qualifying session. He's not going to be able to set a lap time. And even more frustratingly for him will be that he's not going to be able to put his setup on. And that will frustrate him more than anything. But I will mention as well, that wasn't actually my question of the day. So we're all right on that one. Now, I do know that the drivers have been sent additional invites, so hopefully Front Row Racing GP will be able to get back in. He will be rather annoyed if he can't, as any driver would be. Okay, on to the on-track action then. I think there'll be a couple of the guys that might hope that GP can't get back in, or will be pleased that if he does get back in, he's not going to have his own setup on. Now, we've got what looks like both of the Williams out. No, that's a Sauber, and Hybrid Nuke driving straight through him. So Hybrid Nuke looks like he may be the first out on track now on the option tyres. The option tyres are the white marked tyre, and the sort of orangey reddish are the prime tyre, which can get a little bit confusing because red is usually super soft, but it's not quite red, it's more bronze. So, Ray, any predictions for qualifying here? I mean, we saw Rickster sort of put himself in the mix last week with pole position in Singapore. Do you think he could do it again here in Suzuka?
Yeah, I think you could.
Well, I hope
I want to give the guy a wee bit of confidence. I mean, try and give the drivers confidence and stop picking.
Yeah, stop going, what's he doing? Okay, you've seen as we are on board with Hybrid Nuke, and he's just setting himself up for the first flying lap of the session. I will quickly mention that in the World Series last season, in a dry qualifying session, Hindle got pole position with a 1:34.258, and I do think that should be beatable today. All depends on drivers' confidence, setup, and how much they feel they can attack the circuit here as Hindle attacks turns 1 and 2, but appears to be very cautious, but perhaps he's just wanting to get a banker lap in. Now, myself and Ray, every week we've been harassing the drivers before the race in the press area, trying to get a few comments from them, and I must admit, getting Hybrid Nuke's comments this week was quite amusing. It was almost as if he was giving his answers via a smartphone that wasn't very smart, because when I asked him if he got any pre-race comments, he said, beat Hindle. So I think his predictive speech may have got in the way of that one a little bit, but that's pretty much his comment, beat Hindle. Hybrid Nuke knows if he wants any chance of winning this championship, he has to start finishing ahead of Hindle. So,
but remember last season, we'll just get to it. Yep, it was Hybrid Nuke. Last season he was in the wall before the first corner, and he hopes lightning doesn't strike twice.
Oh, interesting. I mean, I'm trying to... Yes, he was. Yes, he was involved in a big collision last season at turn 1. He didn't actually get to turn 1, did he? He was heading to turn 1 sort of backwards with no wheels on the car, but he is about to complete a lap here, and it's going to be a 1:34.996. I think that is just a bit of a banker lap, really. And 69, he's out on track on the prime tyres at the moment. I haven't seen Front Row Racing GP rejoin us yet. I don't know if he's perhaps sent you a message, Ray, or commented on the YouTube channel if you want to just have a quick check of that. Well, I have a look at what it was that Ant69 said to us when I spoke to him earlier on today, and interesting one from him, and that is start from the back, but I think I can catch a few ahead at Japan, so points more than my teammate is the aim. I also know that Ant69 has been absolutely doing his head in with Front Row Racing GP, qualifying on a set of intermediate tyres on a dry track. It's been bugging him all week, and he can relax this week because he's not going to have to think about that one too much. But Ant69 is going for the pits, is he? Yes, he is. So I'm not sure if he's actually set a lap time yet. No, he hasn't. He's just done first 2 sectors. So he's either abandoned that lap, or he's just putting sectors in to start ahead of the admin's cars, because he has said he wants to start at the back. Adam 4600 is on an out lap, and Dave the Harp is about to go through sector 1, and really I should have made notes of what good sectors are, but off the top of my head, low 34 sector 1, low 32 sector 2, and low 16 sector 3 will get you mid 33s or lower. So do we have any news from the pit lane, Ray?
On what?
On Front Row Racing GP.
News. No, there's no information on him, but somebody's telling me put on the snow tyres, so I might have went and got some snow tyres.
It might work for him. Okay, Dave the Harp's not far off, getting through sector 2. Now I believe you spoke to Dave the Harp earlier on today in the press area, Ray. Well, what was it he had to say for himself?
He's looking to get good points, gain points on GP, but need to keep an eye on his dodgy strategies. Needs to see which way he wants to go with his strategy, because GP has done a couple of, I would say, weird but not dodgy.
Yeah, perhaps not dodgy, unusual perhaps. But yeah, I mean, for David Harper at the moment, always from a Racing NW, has a big wiggle through Dunlop on a set of prime tyres, almost looking like he's trying to get a bit of temperature into those. Now, I spoke to... sorry, go on, Ray.
There you go. And Hindo has went pole on a 134.144, so he's beat his time for last season.
Yep, he has, and he is on course for potentially improving on that as well, with just under 11 minutes of the session to go. Yeah, from Racing NW, when I caught up with him earlier today, he said, I'll be looking for points. In practice, I found a decent setup, but didn't do any practice on the option tyre. Only on the primes, and they were used, so I'm expecting to be 20 seconds a lap quicker than Steve, because you'd have expected him to be on the intermediate tyres, I would guess. But top 8 I'm trying to go for this week, so from a Racing NW, hoping to get himself into the top 8 when it comes to the race. Now Adam 4600, he's making his way through Spoon. Big wiggle on the exit. He's done a 36.0 sector 1. That's off the pace quite a bit. Let's see what his sector 2 time is. He may have a little bit of lag going on here. It's a 44.5. That's a couple of seconds off the pace as well. Maybe he's on an in lap here. He might be. He could also be heading to complete the lap. But I did have a word with Adam earlier on today, and he said he's going to try something a bit different setup wise tonight, so hopefully that pays off. I can see there being an accident into turn 1.
I'm just on board Case Lane. He's on a out lap at the moment, so we didn't jump to him, but caught up with Case Lane. He said it'd be nice to get past lap 1 without having to pit for a new wing, so hopefully the other drivers can avoid me, or you can avoid the other drivers. Had a long day, I'm tired. Oh, we've got to get him in for an argument.
Yeah.
But feel confident-ish around here. Just wish we had a decent forecast for the race.
Good point that about the forecast. But yeah, I mean, Casely, if you haven't had less than 2 hours sleep, you're not on our level, my friend. Yeah, you don't know tired. I actually did say to him before we came into the race, I says, you know what, you've been at work all day and you're knackered, you should do what I do. Don't work and still be knackered. But anyway, Casely going through
SAS level.
Yeah. Casey's gone through sector 1 with a 34.6. Perhaps off the pace a little bit there, but he'll want to get a banker lap in, and he's got a Sauber up ahead of him. So we'll see how he gets on through sector 2, taking it very, very cautious around the hairpin here. I must admit, the hairpin is one of the corners on this particular track that I am not a fan of. It's just such an awful little corner, and I think Casely is actually getting held up now a little bit by this Sauber, and now his lap's been invalidated with a little bit of dirty air, so that would have frustrated him a little bit. I mean, really, if that Sauber's on a qualifying lap, then fair enough, but if they're not, really they should have gone out of the way, to be honest. And this is a situation where that Sauber will probably end up going into the pits, and this Ferrari driver will end up being very, very annoyed. And there you go. Oh, and a bit of a crash there. I'm not surprised about that one. But yeah, that Sauber driver should have got well out of the way there. Acorn 95, he's out of fuel. And Andy Russell is about to complete a lap. So let's see what his lap time is going to be. It's a 37.4. That's going to put him at 5th place at the moment. I'm just wondering, Ray, whether you've had any contact off from a Racing GP. Yeah, I'm wondering whether perhaps his internet has just completely shut off or something, because I would have thought he would have sent you some kind of message.
Well, if he's sending me Facebook messages, I'm not going to get them, but his computer's not on because he's not online.
He's not online. If he's not online, he's definitely got some kind of issue there.
He might have been jumping. He might be coming back on, is he? Right, he's came back online, so I've got no messages or anything, so
well, we'll see if he is able to get in. There's only 6 minutes left of the session. And from a racing NW, he's gone back out on track now. He's got rid of the prime tyre and he's put the options on.
Sorry, I've just looked at the live stream. I've got a message. Got no internet. So his internet must have went down.
Yeah. Massively frustrating for Formula Racing GP then. Hopefully he's able to get back in. As I mentioned, we've got about 6 minutes left of the qualifying session. I mean, if he does get back in, he will have a stock setup, which is not ideal, but it's better to be in the race on a stock setup than sat there watching the live stream. Okay, looks like we've got a little bit of a lull at the moment, so it's time for the question of the day, the real question of the day. So, Ray, are you really ready for it? Are you really ready for it?
I'm really ready.
You're really ready. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today's question of the day is a very, very simple one. It's a, what is it? What is a shy turd that comes once a week?
A what?
What is a shy turd that comes once a week? Now remember what I said to you, mate. I did say to you when I asked you the question of the day, don't be rude. Okay, now I'm not being rude, folks. I'm not being rude. But that's the question of the day. What is a shy turd that comes once a week? Okay, back to the action. Dave the Harp, I believe, might be on a flying lap. No, he's on an out lap. So as these comments come in now, some of them might be rather rude, but Ray, I don't know if you want to just keep an eye on them to see whether from a Racing GP can let you know whether he is able to spectate or whether it looks like it's going to allow him to start the race, because yeah, it'd be nice to know that one. But anyway, Dave the Harp, he's about to start his flying lap. So we'll see how he gets on. He's currently sat in third place. We've got 4 minutes to go, but obviously we want to try and keep an eye out on Hindle, Hybrid Nuke, perhaps Rickster. Someone I haven't actually mentioned yet is Charlie. And I'm mentioning him now because I don't think he's going to go out in qualifying. And that's because when I caught up with him earlier today, I asked him what he thought about the race. Got any plans? He says, I'm going to do the same as last week. So I said, are you sure? Because you didn't race last week. He says, no, I mean, I'm going to do the same as the last race, my last race. No assists except corner line. No qualifying. Start on the primes. Get ahead of Hybrid and Hindle and help Ricky. So, team tactics going on at McLaren. Try and send Charlie long on the prime tyres to see if he can kind of disrupt Hybrid and Hindle when they make their pit stops. But Dave the Harp here, he's done a sector 1 time for 35.3. I'm not sure if that's faster than his previous best. No, it's not. He's 0.3 down on his own best sector 1 there. And I don't think he's got enough time really to get back in the pits and get out again. He's going to have to complete this lap. 43.1 is a 10th up. He's going to have to be 2 tenths up or more in this final sector to improve on his own lap time, let alone try and improve on position. It's the 35.6. He hasn't improved, but he is still sat in third place at the moment. Acorn 95 has just popped himself into 5th place with a 1:35. Hybrid Nuke, he started a flying lap and he's going through Dunlop Curve now. Let's see if he can get that sector 1 time into the 34s. It's only a 35.1. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Something I haven't looked at though is current air and track temperature. Let's see, we can have a quick look at those. Track's 41 degrees, so it's in that sort of zone of it's hot, but not too hot. But actually, round here, it tends to be a little quicker when it's a little cooler. So it's kind of in that zone of perhaps not giving the best lap times. See what his sector 2 time is when he gets to the end of the straight here, heading up to the R130. Now, Ray, I don't know if you know if Hindle is out on track yet.
I'll just have a quick look.
Okay.
Yep, that was him at turn 1. He was off track fighting a Ferrari pass.
Okay, so we're letting Casey through. So Hybrid Nuke's done a 42.7. Was that Ferrari and Williams?
Yep.
Okay, Hybrid Nuke, second place, 135.0, has not improved on his lap time. So I'm looking at Hindle now. So that's K-Slay's qualifying session over. So I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but Ray will have seen it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if K-Slay sends in at least one report from qualifying of being held up. I tell you what, I don't think Hindle's got enough time to get to start a flying lap. He hasn't got enough time, I don't think, to start a flying lap. But he's fairly safe at the moment. Dave the Harp, I think, has just completed another lap, has not improved. Adam 4600, he is on a timed lap at the moment. He's done a 35.3 sector 1. Oh, that could invalidate. It has invalidated. That's his session over. From a Racing NW, he's got 7 seconds. Can he get to the line to start his lap? It's a race to start a lap. 3, 2, 1. I don't know. Yes, I think he may have done. I think he may have just got there in time.
Yes, he is. He's still coming. Well, whether he goes into pits or not.
Well, we'll find out in a few moments' time, I'm sure. Hindle definitely not getting a lap in. Nightwalker here may just be able to, and this could actually kind of prove a little costly. If he is on a flying lap right now, if he can make any kind of position, he's timed it more perfectly than you could ever time anything. Perhaps.
Yeah, Steve's on multiplayer spectating. That's what it says on his
screen
when you look at friends.
Well, hopefully
somebody's asking what's the question of the day again.
I will do the question of the day again in a moment. I mean, I do hope that Formula Racing GP does manage to start the race. Okay, the question of the day for today is, what is a shy turd that comes once a week? Now, I will also add, if any of the viewers have got any questions that you'd like Ray to ask me, or you'd like to ask myself and Ray, feel free to put them in the comments. If we can get to them, we will. We'll see if NW is going to improve on his lap time. He's completing the lap. Is he going to improve on his position? No, he's not. I think he may have improved on his time, but not his position. Yeah, but any messages that are any questions for Ray or myself, if you can, put at Ray, and it'll be easier for him to find. Also, for podium questions at the end, put at Ray when it's the right time to send those in later on. Okay,
as long as broadcastable.
Yes. Okay, qualifying over then. Hindle takes pole position. Hybrid Nuke second place. Dave the Harp third. Richie Davey fourth. Acorn in fifth. Andy Russell sixth. Adam 4600 seventh. From a Racing NW eighth. Ant 9th, K-Slay 10th, Charlie 11th, Rickster did not set a time. I wonder if that was tactical. I don't remember seeing him out on track. And then hopefully we'll have Front Row Racing GP starting the race behind us. So it looks like the McLarens are going really technical. And to be honest, when I spoke to Rickster earlier on, he said, done next to no practice, probably going to wing it. Who else did we have comments from? Oh, from a Racing GP. From a Racing GP, well, we asked him for pre-race comments. He says, I ain't got none.
Yeah, he's been banned from the press conference till he starts talking. It's cloudy.
Oh, it is cloudy. Now, you know what? I only wish that was true in a way, that he was banned, because the pre-race comments that he sent, the only way I can kind of explain it is, think back to watching Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom and them trying to read the hieroglyphics in the Temple of Doom. It was one of those type of messages. It was in actual Japanese. And when I translated it, it came out to this. Last night, very eyes, half off sleep, what to look for. His glasses do not shut like a local. I can have a clean race, so you have to keep away from the tree of the acorn. Okay, Google Translate working its wonders once again. Another comment as well from Acorn95 was, I'm declaring war with my teammate, as well as wanting to keep our second place in the constructors. Okay, Ray, we've only got a few seconds.
I think that's GP behind me.
Okay, any predictions, Ray?
No.
Okay, well, we're on 4 lights, 5 lights. It's time to go racing. We'll let the drivers make their way down towards turn 1, and From a Racing GP has done exactly that, along with all of the other drivers. Hopefully there was not too much going on down into turn 1, as Acorn getting very, very close to the back of his teammate.
Car's spinning, I don't know, I'll have to find out.
Okay, so it looks like we have got at least one collision going off already. Charlie and Rickster, they're already up to 8th and 9th place. And Rickster, he's on a charge all over the back of Andy Russell at the moment. Something we'll have to have a look at is what tyres these guys are on. Rickster is on options, and they'll be absolutely brand spanking new. So will his teammates.
Nate Walker and Casely.
Excuse my coughing. Okay, so Nightwalker and Casely having a little bit of contact then in the opening corners of the lap. Andy Russell and Adam 4600 going side by side. Oh, and we've got Mercedes. And I think they're having a little bit of a tussle as well. But which do we watch? Which do we watch? Because something's going to happen somewhere, and whichever one we don't watch.
The back, you watch your front.
Okay, oh, here we go. Mercedes on Mercedes, and they're both into the barrier. That's 2 front wings gone. That's 2 angry drivers.
And we've got Rickster taking over Andy Russell.
Okay,
and
so
Adam 4600. Oh, this is going to get close.
Oh, it's getting very close. But Rickster, he's just managed to get ahead. Can Adam stay ahead of Andy? Yes, he can. Now, Rickster's got to be careful of Adam, perhaps having a look into the chicane. He hasn't done. So Rickster will be able to finish the first lap. He's gone from near the back of the grid up to 4th place in the opening lap of the race.
Russell's got ahead of Adam 600, and now he's got Charlie all over the back of him coming into turn 1.
And not only that, they got From a Racing GP right behind him as well. Oh, and Adam's gone wide, he's gone deep. That gives Charlie half a chance. Sorry, Charlie, he's on the prime tyres, not the options. They're getting very, very close. They're touching wheels. And now From a Racing GP's just tagged the back of Charlie. He's now facing the wrong direction. So lap 2 of this race, and plenty going on. But now Adam 4600, he's gone a bit wide. That's let Charlie through. I think the Ferrari of GP may still be going, unless that's K-Slay behind these guys here. It is K-Slay. So From a Racing GP has now been knocked a little bit further down the field. Up at the front though, we've got Hindle leading the race, and I tell you what, I thought I just saw a spot of rain. I can't see any on the car though, so I might be mistaken. It could just be the blossom flashing past the screen. But we've got Williams, Hindle, Williams, Hybrid Nuke, the first and second. 3rd place, we've got Richie Davey. I tell you what, Hybrid Nuke, he's close here. But Ray, you may have to commentate for a moment, because I've got a frog in my throat.
You on? That'd be helpful.
Hindle and Hybrid.
And so Hybrid will be getting the slipstream. Will they do it before the Giuliani's coming in, falling in behind him? DRS, I don't think it's activated at the moment. Sorry.
You're right, it's not yet. They'll cross the line. Now it'll be available on this lap. But is Hybrid close enough? No, he's not. He hasn't got DRS yet. Oh, Hindle's gone deep though. Hindle's gone deep. That allows Hybrid Nuke up the inside into turn 1 and 2. And now he's trying to close the door. That could be a very, very costly error there for Hindle. I mean, Hybrid Nuke said before the start of the race he wanted to beat his teammate, and we have seen in the past that Hybrid Nuke has been able to go longer on his tyres, and around this track that could be absolutely crucial. But we have also seen Hindle make full use of undercuts around other circuits. I tell you what, Ray, you keep an eye on those two at the moment. I'm just going to have a quick look, because we've got Rickster. We've got Rickster catching up to the back of Richie Davey, almost as if Richie Davey's standing still and Rickster's on a spaceship. He's been signed up by NASA and he's been fired into space. He's all over the back of him. Okay, what have we got in 6th? Oh, that's Charlie in 7th, chucking it up the inside of a Red Bull, and now Caseley's come round the corner. He's got nowhere to go. That's a McLaren in the barrier. A Red Bull in the wall, and now from a Racing GP and Ant 69, they come round the corner and get involved in it as well. Cheers for sending me to that one, Ray. Now my throat's here hurting even more. I tell you what, it's all kicking off in this race. There's action, there's drama, there's racing, there's bad racing, there's Mercedes taking out Mercedes.
Williams are close, coming. Oh, Hybrid Nick's sliding it in second.
Well, Hindle, he's back into first place now. So Hindle on that last lap, he must have got through heading down towards the R130, I would guess. But Hybrid Nuke back in. Oh, we've got a big crash! Big crash! Richie Davey, Rickster's facing the wrong direction down the start finish. Carbon fibre all over the place. I don't know exactly what's happened there, but you know what? That's going to put Caseley up into 5th place, from a Racing GP up into 6th place. Rickster's going to have to go for a whole lap around Suzuka with no front wing, and this is not a place you want to be doing that. He's now been passed by his teammate, and Ant 69 in 8th place. All Rickster can do now is turn that engine down, do a very, very slow lap, and hope that he still ends up in a bit of a race with the 2 Mercedes. We've got Adam 4600 trying to get around Rickster now. He just about manages to do so. He has managed to get ahead, but in the opening 4 laps of this race, we've had more crashes than you get in a Destruction Derby.
Oh, Hybrid Nick, is he going for the move? No, he's backing out of it.
Well, he's in an interesting situation here. I mean, we'll have all found ourselves in this position, in Hybrid Nuke's position. I know I did. Following a car down here, you go, okay, I'll turn it down to lean, I don't want to overtake him here. But when you're close enough, the slipstream effect is so powerful, it leads you into going for the overtake. And it takes a lot of mental strength to go, no, wait for the DRS. But if you don't get a good exit out of the final chicane, like Hybrid Nuke here hasn't, he's not going to be able to overtake with the DRS. So sometimes you just have to go, right, I'll go past now before the R130 and hope I can stay ahead.
Yeah, his rear end doesn't seem to be going the way he wants it. It seems
neither does his front end, because he's just got off at turn 1.
Yeah.
But I mean, dirty air around here, dirty air can be absolutely awful. Right, we're on lap 5, Ray. Already we're on lap 5, and pit stops could be happening anytime soon, although we have already had about 5 done already for damage. Okay, let's see. Caseley 16.7 seconds behind the leader, would have been starting on, or should have been starting on, a brand new set of tyres, and he can see Andy Russell.
He's lost his wing. He's gone slow.
Another one.
Yep.
Oh dear, oh dear.
What happened.
Dave the Harp, his race is over. His race is over. And I've just spotted Ant 69. He's gone very, very wide round Dunlop. That's going to allow his teammate through into both of the Degners. Now, I tell you what, I know Rickster, he said he was going to try and wing this one. Well, he has now managed to make his stop, get a new wing. He's put on another set of the option tyres, but he is going to be a long, long way off the leaders. I reckon you're going to be looking at about 50-odd seconds. Hindle and Hybrid Nuke. Sorry, go on.
An engineer, I think, as well. Butler, no rain forecast for the rest of the race. Oh, Hybrid's in the pits.
Yes, he is. We'll see what tyres he's going for. So Hybrid Nuke then, he's going for the undercut. And it's on to the prime tyres. Now, Richie Davey, he's coming down the start-finish line now. He was 10 seconds off the lead, so he's going to take second place. But I tell you what, Andy Russell, he's got a Ferrari right behind him, and he's going to have a Williams. No, the Williams is going to come out behind them. That's a slower stop, or a longer stop than I was expecting there. But Hybrid Nuke may have just got...
GP.
Yeah, Hybrid Nuke's got out just ahead of GP by the looks of it. But Caseley is all over the back of Andy Russell here. Acorn 95, his race is also now over. That's both Mercedes out of the race. And I tell you what, that will cheer up both of the Ferrari drivers. Caseley, much better line through Dunlop. This could get messy. Hold your breath. It's not got messy, thankfully. Caseley now up to 3rd place. Wow, what a start to the race. And I have a feeling it isn't over yet. Now, sorry,
not over.
it's not over by a long shot. It's not. Hybrid nuke!
Whoa.
Hybrid nuke!
He's gone.
I'm wondering if that may have been a crash there.
He was on the grass when his car went. I don't know what's going on.
I wonder if he's had a bit of an issue there.
Acorn's gone.
Yep. Well, hybrid nuke seems to have a bit of an issue there then, but he is now out of this race. That frees up Hindle to pretty much go on and take the win here, if he's able to do so. Let's see if Casely is able to catch up to Richie Davey at all. Richie Davey now into the pits, and Hindle, he has pitted as well. He's now running the option tyre. Yep. Casely has continued on. His tyres were fresher from the start of the race. Oh, fresher maybe. Worn now though, as he runs wide around turn 1 and 2, leaving big 11s on the exit of turn 2 there.
So front rollers and GPs on the primes, would they go a long stint to try and keep places, or is it just going to get swallowed up?
Well, strategy is an interesting one around here. I mean, 2-stop is possible. 3-stop can be faster. It all depends on how the race plays out and how your tyres hold up in the conditions and how you look after them. I'd say if he doesn't pit at the end of this lap, he could be looking at perhaps a 2-stop strategy. But at the moment, I mean, let's see, where's Charlie? Charlie's in 4th place on a set of prime tyres at the moment. So still rotating around the circuit, 11 seconds off the lead. We'll see if we can have a look at how his tyres are holding up. They don't look too bad, to be honest. Oh, I say that, we get a close-up of that front right. It's not looking too healthy. Or that rear left. That rear left looks like it should be chopped up into little bits and turned into the flooring of a children's playground now. That's probably the best thing for that rear left tyre.
There's these coming up on front row racing NW, sorry.
Yes, he is. So up to the hairpin.
Took the place at the hairpin.
Yep, different compounds of tyres there, different speeds within the drivers as well.
Pits, 2nd place on the pits.
So Casely with a brand new set of option tyres from the start of the race. Now going on to the primes. His option tyres only lasted to the end of lap 7. So perhaps with a couple of incidents there, burning up the tyres. And that is something that the drivers do have to kind of be aware of, that... Yes, or Richie's getting very close to Adam. Yeah, a brand new set of option tyres around here might last 9 laps if you do 9 perfectly clean, looked after the tyres laps. But if you have one lock-up, one big rear end moment, one spin, one nerve through the gravel, your tyre life reduces massively. Now Richie Davey, he's getting very, very close to the back of Adam here. And Richie's on the prime tyre, so showing the difference between sort of a newer set of prime tyres and a older set of options, which Adam will be on here.
Yeah, just confirmation from the Williams garage. There was a lot of shouting and then disconnection.
Oh dear, that is a massive, massive disappointment then for Hybrid Nuke. He knows exactly what that means. It means he's hoping that Hindle has a similar problem, because otherwise he's about to lose a hell of a lot of points to him. Now Richie Davies in position to overtake before the R130, and you know what, if I was Adam, I wouldn't fight him here, because you're going to be wanting to go to the pit lane. So Richie Davies moved himself up to 4th place, and ahead of Richie is Charlie. Let's see if Charlie is going to make his way into the pits. No, he's not. He's continuing on.
That was a close pit.
So I'm guessing that Adam 4600 ended up in the pit lane there, because he's no longer behind Richie Davey. And for Charlie, though, running in 3rd place at the moment, his tyres are shot. Probably would have been better for him to pit on the lap he's just finished. But obviously he's got a target lap he wants to get to. He's not going to make it easy for Richie, but I don't think he's going to have much say in it, because when your tyres start going around here, you have no turn-in, you have no mid-corner grip, you have no exit traction, and you'll get to a point where when you press the brakes, It's not going to slow down. As he's about to find out now.
Pit stop?
Pit stop around here, you're looking around about somewhere between 18 to 21 seconds. I've not timed it exactly, but the undercut around here can be absolutely enormous. But what is it that you've spotted, Ray, that's made you ask that question?
Front row GP is 9 seconds from the leader, so he's... Oh, sorry, I misread. I thought he was 18 seconds away from Richie Davey, but he's not. It's Richie Davey's 18, so he's only 9 seconds away from Richie Davey.
Yep.
So it was to see where he would try and come out, and right. It would be roughly 5th.
Okay. Now Richie Davey has just managed to get ahead of Charlie. Charlie definitely struggling on these tyres now, and he really should make his way into the pit lane. K-Slate, he's beginning to catch up to Charlie now as well on his newer set of prime tyres. From a Racing GP, I'm not sure whether he started the race on the prime tyres, you know. I've got a feeling he may have started on options, and no, he must have started on primes. He must have. To be sitting in second place now, he must have started in second place. Well, I mean, let's see, he's 12.2 seconds off the leader.
That didn't make sense. To be sitting in second place.
Sorry, I am tired. I am tired. That's an excuse for this evening. I am tired. What day is it? Okay, Richie Davey is in third place, 22 seconds off the lead, so he's 10 seconds behind Front Row Racing GP, but Richie Davey has made a pit stop already. Front Row Racing GP has not. K-Slay has. He's in fourth place. Charlie nowhere in sight. I'm hoping he pitted, but K-Slay is only 4 seconds behind Richie Davey at the moment, and he's on the fresher tyre. Andy Russell, he's only 4 seconds behind K-Slay, and he's on the option tyre. Charlie has pitted, he's now on the option tyre, but he's got at least... The only way he can do one more stop in this race is if he uses prime tyres again. He's not going to get to the end doing option, I don't think. It won't work, the tyres won't last that long. Charlie, his sector time is not relevant at the moment. I have to wait for him to get through the end of sector 2. I reckon we'll see that pop up to about 45, 46, maybe 48, 44. That'll do. Now Rickster, Charlie's teammate, can see his teammate when they're on a straight. Rickster obviously had to recover from a broken front wing in the opening laps. For a race at NW, you know what? He said in his pre-race comments he's looking for an 8th place finish. He's currently in 9th. It could still be on the cards. And 69 is in 10th, and he's on the option tyres. And Hindle, you know what? Sorry for the dodgy camera work. I would not be surprised if he turns his engine down and just strolls this one to the end. He doesn't need to do anything special now. His main competitor for the championship is not in the race. And it'd be an interesting situation for Hybrid Nuke. I mean, could you imagine it, Ray? Hybrid Nuke and Hindle are teammates that have been in a chat party together. When I ended up not in a race anymore, I stayed in the lobby and was a race engineer for my teammate, and I helped him out. Do you think Hybrid... I know he's not in the lobby anymore, but do you think he'll go back in the chat... All right, but what I'm saying is, would Hybrid Nuke be tempted to come back on, go back into the chat party and go, oh yeah, Pit, you'll be fine, they're nowhere near, you'll be alright, Pit, and make him lose a load of places? You never know. Okay, GP has made his stop. Go on then, Ray, talk us through his pit stop.
So he'll be coming down hard on the brakes, not hit the guy at the front, get these option tyres on, get it on, and off they go as soon as it drops. And that was quite quick, roughly, but I don't know, is there a glitch in this?
We've not seen one. We've not seen one here in Japan. Now, he is going to come out in 5th place at the moment, but he from here can go option. That...
Yeah, it's like I predicted, 5th place. I'm amazing.
You're a superstar, Ray. All you need is to only have 2 hours sleep and you can predict the future. That's how I do it. Hallucinate everything. Two Mercedes really didn't crash each other off in the first lap. It was just what we wanted to see. Okay, what have we got?
Hybrid can't get into the chat as it was set as private.
Oh.
So Hindle must have been the owner.
Oh, you see,
he done that for a reason.
You see, you should learn from the no sleep masters. One of you sets up the chat party as private. You invite your teammate in. And then what you do is you say, do me a favour, mate, I'm going to jump out, send me an invite. Then if either one of you get disconnected, you've already had an invite, you can still get back in. That's how we do it, isn't it, Ray?
Yep.
Yep, because we're the...
Or sometimes we forget.
Yeah, sometimes we forget, which is why I have to send the invites to the podium drivers. Okay, K-Slay, he's in third place, and I think he may be catching up a little bit to Richie Davey. Let's see what that gap is. Richie Davies 27 behind the leader. K-Slay's 29, 2 seconds-ish. Andy Russell, he's in the pit lane again, so he's done option. He's burning through those tyres. He's going to come out behind Front Row Racing GP. Front Row Racing GP's already gone, so he's got his strategy on the move. Andy Russell is now on the move. Charlie's going to go past him now, though, with him being on the option tyre. So Andy Russell's...
He's not close enough.
He's not.
Quite far back.
But Andy Russell's gone...
Bits.
Okay, Andy Russell's gone for another set of option tyres. So, Ray, keep an eye on Ricks to let us know what tyres he goes for. So, Andy Russell, I don't think yet has ran the prime tyre. He's going to have to run those at the end. I would guess he's going to try and get about 6-7 laps out of this set of option tyres, run a set of primes to the end from about lap 19, 18, 19 maybe. Okay.
Sorry, I'm just replying to comments. Well, I'll let you answer this one. Somebody's asked for a safety car restart. Well, he's just said that, and I've said, why would there be a safety car restart? It goes, less people.
It doesn't matter. Unfortunately, disconnections happen, I'm afraid, as do crashes. I mean, even if I was disconnected from a race, I wouldn't even call for a safety car restart, but nice try, Hybrid. It probably
wasn't Hybrid.
Alright, was it Dave the Heart, was it? Acorn?
No, it wasn't him.
It wasn't even a driver.
Drivers.
No. Basically, the way we look at it is disconnections are basically the equivalent of car failures. It's horrible when it happens, it's frustrating when it happens, but one of the things that has changed in this game, and really Codemasters, they won't, but could do with sorting it out, is we used to get a notification saying has destroyed their car, whereas now we get has left the session or has retired from the session. So we don't know the reason for drivers leaving on occasion. Now, I know, for example, I think it was Dan Evans at Singapore in the World Championship race. It popped up on my screen while I was racing. Dan Evans has retired from the session. I was like, oh, maybe he's having a bit of a shocker. Well, when I was writing the World Championship review, I thought, you know what, I'll have a little look at what happened, what made him retire from the race. He hit a barrier, lost his wing, tried to get in the pits, got it wrong, hit the pit wall, wrote his car off. So he actually destroyed his car, but none of us knew about it other than Dan Evans himself. So having those notifications would be much more useful for us as commentators, for drivers in the race, and for viewers, because they would be able to know straight away, oh, he's destroyed his car, or oh, he's had a disconnection. But K-Slay is catching up to Richie Davey, hand over fist now, and I think Hindle has made another pit stop. Because it says the gap to the leader is down to 11.5 seconds. So I think Hindle has made his next stop of the race, and I think K-Slay is within DRS range.
I'm Front Row Racing GP, somewhere 19.
He's not that far behind them, is he?
7, 8 seconds. Sorry, I'm too tired for this.
Well, the thing is, I mean, Front Row Racing GP mentioned it last night. You wouldn't have heard it, Ray. But it was something that I was working out in practice. And that was, the time difference between... Oh, K-Slay's getting very, very close here. Yeah, the time difference between a brand new set of options and a worn set of primes. So, for example, the situation that GP is in now compared to Richie Davey and K-Slay. Front Row Racing GP on those option tyres will have the potential of gaining anywhere up to 3 seconds a lap had he got his own setup on the car. Unfortunately, he won't have his own setup on the car. It'll be on 6.6 aeros. It'll be absolutely amazing through Sector 1, and it'll be absolutely canal boat slow through Sector 3. But K-Slay here, he is all over the back of Richie Davey. May have a chance to attack into the R130, but may want to wait for DRS. It does look like that's what he's going to try and do. But as we saw with Hybrid Nuke earlier on, you need to have a good exit of the final chicane to make it work, because if you don't, you can't get the power down to be able to get the advantage of the DRS. You see Richie Davey, he's gone flying down the road here. So K-Slay definitely not able to attack yet. Now, Front Row Racing GP is only 5 seconds behind his teammate now. He's on a set of option tyres that he's been on for 2 to 3 laps, so they'll be good for another 3 or 4. Charlie on the option tyres in 5th place, and I tell you what, I think Andy Russell is catching him.
Andy Russell. Oh, as K-Slay's going for a move. Degner's the first one. Oh. He's done it the first one.
Was that around the outside of Degner 1?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, not a place you'd usually try going for a move, but he's gone for it, he's tried it, he's made it work, and not only that, Richie Davies coming back at him, trying to, on the exit of the hairpin, but there's Front Row Racing GP. I said he'd be catching up quick, and he is doing right now. But I've got a feeling we're going to be seeing Richie Davey attacking that Ferrari as if it had just stolen his sweets. Although saying that, Richie Davey has just got a bit of a wiggle on the exit of the corner. That's going to have lost him a little bit of time, but Richie Davey's prime tyres are a few laps older than K-Slay's. So we could be seeing Richie Davey pitting soon, but I don't think he'll want to pit for at least another 2 laps. K-Slay's gone very, very deep. Yeah, very, very deep. That'll give Richie Davey perhaps a chance. No, into the pit lane. Nearly into the barrier as well by the looks of things. But that gets him out of that battle. That now puts Front Row Racing GP up behind his teammate. Now, I do know that... 5th and 6th. 5th and 6th. OK, let's go and have a
Charlie
look. And Andy Russell.
Andy Russell.
Place your bets quickly, folks. Andy Russell, can he make it around the outside? DRS. He's just about ahead, and he is ahead into turn 1. A nice move there by Andy Russell. It's taken him a few laps to be able to catch up to get into that position, and I did spot a few moments ago, Rickster looks like he's made another pit stop, is now on the prime tyre. So Charlie been demoted now down to 5th place. Richie Davey has come out of the pits in 6th place and can see Charlie and his teammate ahead. Now, just quickly moving back to both Ferraris, I'm wondering if, I wouldn't necessarily say team orders, but differences of strategies may come into play for the Ferrari drivers here. I know from a Racing NW discussed it about when myself and Kev187 switched positions in a World Championship race. I mean, what's your thoughts on it, Ray? At this situation, you've got K-Slay, old primes, Front Row Racing GP, not yet old options. You wouldn't necessarily expect K-Slay to slow down and let him through, but you wouldn't really expect him to defend him if he gets into a position to get past.
I would hurt him up, K-Slay.
Yeah, you only say that because he speaks Chinese, Japanese.
And 69 in Front Row Racing NW are going at it turn 1.
You're right, they are, as K-Slay's just made a pit stop. Go on, Ray, talk us through these two hammering it out through Sector 1.
Well, Ant had the better drive down turn 1, into turn 1, but it seems like he backed out on the exit of turn 1, I think. coming through this sector, and it's not any close for a move. I think he'll have to wait till the next DRS. Oh, he's went hard on the brakes there. He might get it at the hairpin if he can line it up.
No, he's just ran a little bit wide, but they're saying that. I think NW's just had a quick look in his mirrors and done a bit of a Pastor Maldonado from Malaysia a few years ago. Looked in his mirrors, looked up and gone, oh crap, I'm on the grass. It's very easy to do. Oh, I was Ant 69, he has a big wobble. I mean, these guys though, they're on different compounds of tyres. NW looking comfortable on the primes, but he did say in his pre-race comments he's been practicing on those prime tyres.
Okay, K-Slay must have pitted.
K-Slay did pit just as you were watching NW and Ant battle it out around turn 1. K-Slay pitted, so he's going to be behind Richie Davey again. We're going to have to wait for K-Slay to get through sector 2 to get a relevant sort of gap on him to the leader. Richie Davey is 40 seconds behind the leader, but he's about half a second behind his own teammate, who's currently in 3rd place, and there is K-Slay. So Richie Davey did get the undercut. He's on the option tyres. I don't think Richie Davey's option tyres will last to the end of the race. He's looking at about 10 laps on them. I think it's too many. Andy Russell into the pits, frees up his teammate. Now K-Slay, he's on the prime tyre. So K-Slay pitted a lap or two after Richie Davey, as Ant moves out of the way. Blue flag situation for K-Slay. Yeah, K-Slay pitted a lap after Richie Davey and went for the prime tyre. K-Slay might know something that Richie Davey doesn't, because Richie Davey hasn't done a lot of practice around here. So I think Richie Davey's tyres are going to fall off the cliff before the end of this race. K-Slay, stay close enough while he burns them up and you'll have him at the end. Now, from a race...
I'm just trying to work out if GP... Right, Richie Davey's pitted now. GP, if he pits, he's going to come out close to Richie Davey.
Quite possibly.
So his strategy at the moment is working for him.
It is. Now, I don't think he's going to pit on this lap, because I think he pitted end of lap 12 or end of lap 11. I'm not sure. He may want to go on for another lap. It'll all depend on how his tyres have been feeling. Now, you've got to bear in mind as well, folks, he's been used to running quite a low setup around here. Oh, and into the pits he does go. So he is going for it now. But yeah, he's been used to running whatever setup it was he had on the car. Now, I do kind of know what it was. It was very low aeros. And now he's had to get used to a car with 6.6 aeros. In 19 laps. Now Richie Davey is kind of taking a defensive line even though no one's behind him. I'm trying to see where From a Racer GP is. He's coming out of the pits now. He's going to be behind his teammate, is he? Yes, he is. But he's on option tyres. See, this is where now K-Slay will benefit if he lets Front Row Racing GP through. If he lets GP through, he's on the faster tyre, go and hunt down Richie Davey, make Richie Davey burn up his tyres, they both gain then. See, now this is where being teammates helps, where you can help each other. And I do know that these two, they have been getting on very well as teammates, and they have been very good at sort of helping each other out. But, I mean, for a race, Kendall, if you're catching him, keep going. I'm happy where I am. If we both catch him, we both catch him. No, here we go. This is the move. This is it. This is the... Right, come past, go get him. So, we're going to have to see what that gap is. Sorry, say again?
Is my lover cheating on me?
I think he might be. I mean, K-Slay may feel violated in that hairpin, but, I mean, whether that was the move or not, it was the best thing to do, really. But we've got to see what the gap is. Now, Richie Davies, 36.6 off the lead. From our Racing GP is 42, so it's 6 seconds. They're going to have to get a move on, but Richie's tyres will die in those last 2 laps. It could all come down to those last 2 laps. Okay, have we got any other battles going on? Oh, I told you. Oh, no, I thought that was a Red Bull behind Caseley there. It is, but it's not in position. Andy Russell, he's in 5th, coming around the final corner now, and Charlie is not too far behind him. Both of those guys on the prime tyre. Rickster in 7th, going for another pit stop. He's going for a set of option tyres, I would guess. Adam 4600, he's already on a set of option tyres. And 69 running primes, so he's made a pit stop. We saw that when he got out of the way for the blue flag. Nightwalker, he's now on the options. So Ant 69 and Nightwalker not too far apart, and now Ant is on the slower tyre. Okay, quickly before I go and check what the gap is, Ray, you can keep an eye on it for a moment. I want to quickly recap on the question of the day. So, folks, today's question of the day is a very simple one. What is a shy turd that comes once a week? That is, what is a shy turd that comes once a week? Okay, let's go see what the gap is. From a Racing GP, still 41 seconds from the leader. Richie Davey, he's 34 seconds from the leader, so it's not quite happening yet. It's not quite happening yet, but there's still 6 laps of the race to go. But this is the thing, folks. We've already seen some of the drivers have not been able to get 6 laps out of the option tyres towards the end of the race. You may be able to get more, but I don't think you're going to get 10.
This could be interesting. Just reading thing, and those engineers came on asking for people to stop spam messaging them, and it was said in a comment, so I have said stop the spam messages.
Yeah, if people are sending Hindle loads of messages to try and get him disconnected, stop it. But what I would say is to Hindle, turn your notifications off. That way you don't see any of the messages that come at you. At least it's not as bad as what used to happen to Stocky. If he got a phone call, his internet went off. And no, that doesn't mean phone Hindle. Do not phone Hindle. If someone phones him now and he gets disconnected, I'm going to get it in the neck. Okay, Richie Davey, he's gained on the leader by 2 seconds. But Front Row Racing GP has gained on him by 1 second. So the gap between 3rd and 2nd is coming down. I think Hindle may be on the prime tyre. No, he's on options. I think he's just cruising, saving fuel. Doesn't need to do anything drastic. He'll also be shouting at people, stop sending me messages. Okay, we'll take a moment of calm on lap 23, as Hindle has only got 4 in this lap to go. From a Racing GP, he's already into 2nd place. Richie Davey, he's into the pits. He realised his tyres aren't going to make it. Where's that going to put him? It could keep him in 4th place. Yeah, his teammate, he's in 5th on a set of prime tyres that are looking absolutely diabolical at the moment. So perhaps Richie Davey's thinking, okay, let me see if I can catch you up. But you've now got to try and catch up about 20 seconds in 4 laps. You're not going to do it. Options, brand new options against old primes. In 6 laps you can get 18 seconds. Brand new options against options that are only 3 laps old. You're not going to bring in 18 seconds. But perhaps Richie Davey did realise he's not going to get to the end. Maybe he can try and attack Caseley. I'm wondering if Hindle has made another pit stop or had a problem, because the gap from Hindle to Front Row Racing GP has just come down to 19 seconds. It was 30 something, so that could suggest a pit stop for Hindle. I think he may have just made one. Yep, with popping in a new fastest lap, it would suggest that is exactly what he has done. So Front Row Racing GP then now is 20 seconds off the lead. Caseley 6 seconds off Front Row Racing GP. We'll see what the gap is between Caseley and Richie Davey. So 25 seconds to 36. Oh, 12 seconds. Oh, Caseley may come under pressure from Richie Davey, but I tell you what, Richie Davey's tyres, if you look at them, they look worn. I wonder.
Yes. The front left doesn't look right to me.
I tell you what it could be. He's done quite a lot of pit stops and used quite a few sets of option tyres. He's using tyres that have already been used in qualifying. Ooh, it's not over. Anything can still happen. And Andy Russell in 5th place. I think he's still got Charlie quite close to him. He has. Close-ish. If anything happens to Andy, Charlie's there to benefit. Something we haven't thought of, Raymond.
What?
Would you like to have a look if any of the drivers have got penalties?
Oh, penalties, yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell us if they have, just or who has. Just let us know if they have. I'll tell you what though, I mean, considering that me and you are both absolutely knackered, Ray, we've either hallucinated most of what we've seen in this race and we've been talking gibberish, or this race has actually been a bloody very, very interesting, even if it has been a bit crashy, a very, very interesting race. I'm just thinking Charlie may come under a little bit of pressure from Adam 4600 in the later stages of the race, but having said that, Rickster now on a set of option tyres is beginning to catch up to Adam 4600. So
2 of the top 5 drivers have penalties.
Ooh, everybody go ooh. Interesting. Now obviously, the drivers, if they get any dodgy illegal overtake penalties, they are going to be able to appeal those kind of things. They would have to put an appeal in, but it's just to let the viewers know that. I mean, I got a right dodgy corner cut penalty yesterday, which I've appealed, and it is a little bit frustrating sometimes when you know it's a dodgy one, but at the end of the race it shows up as you've got a penalty, but not a lot you can do about it. But that's why Formula Racing has race directors and stewards that look into incidents and go the extra mile to try and level things out a little bit. Okay, Rickster is really, really gaining on Adam 4600. I don't know if we've got anything getting close elsewhere, Ray. I don't know if you want to have a quick look to see whether Richie Davey is gaining on Caseley. He's only got
8 seconds.
8 seconds. He's got 2 laps plus the one he's on. It could get close. It could get really close with those two. But Rickster is reeling in that Red Bull at the moment. They do say Red Bull gives you wings, but at the moment all it's giving Rickster is a face full of exhaust fumes, and they won't taste very nice.
That'll be the engine.
Yeah, true. Okay, I tell you what, Ray, right? We're on lap 25 and lap 27. I've put the question of the day out there a couple of times. I'm going to do it one more time, and it'll be your turn to try and answer it. If you've thought of an answer, you can give it, as long as it's not too rude. So today's question of the day, and feel free to answer in the comments if you think you know what it might be. What is a shy turd that comes round once a week? Rickster, he's close enough. Just have a think about it, Ray. Rickster, he's close enough. He's got DRS. He's going to be able to have a look. Adam going defensive and closes the door. Says to Rickster, you're not coming through, my friend. But I think Rickster is still going to want to try. So go on, Ray. While they're going through Sector 1, have you any idea of what it might be?
No, people are saying diarrhea. Somebody with IBS.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Adam's just had a big sideways moment. That's allowing Rickster to get very, very close. I will admit, when I tell you the answer, guys, you're going to hate me. But Rickster, go on, come on, is he going to have a go into the hairpin? He could. It depends which way Adam goes to defend. He's far enough ahead to not really have to. Rickster's going to have to really fight this one out. Okay, Front Row Racing GP still second place. K-Slay still third place. Richie Davey is only 5 seconds behind K-Slay now, but they've only got 1 lap to go. Hindle's in the Degners already, so we need to keep an eye on Hindle because I want to see him crossing the line. But we also want to be careful of Adam 4600 and Rickster because these two are very, very close. But these guys are ahead of Hindle, so... Oh, is he going for it? Is he going for it? Adam's gone defensive, saying you're not doing me in the R130, but I think Rickster's going to have a look in the hairpin. He is up the inside. Oh, a bit of a bombing mission there. Bit of a bombing mission, but it worked. He's ahead. Let's go and, excuse me, latch on board with Hindle. We haven't seen him much throughout this race. Once Hybrid Nuke was no longer in the event, it was a bit of an easy one for Hindle. I wouldn't be surprised if he's now feeling a bit tired and a bit blurry-eyed. 27 laps around Suzuka, mainly unchallenged, so it'll be victory for Hindle here in Suzuka, implementing a bigger gap on the standings. And Front Row Racing GP is in second place at the moment. He's got 3 corners to go. He didn't get to qualify on a set of intermediate tyres on a dry track, but he's on a stock setup. He's gone from 14th on the grid to second place. Oh, I don't know what else to say. It's a second place finish for Front Row Racing GP. Rich there. Out of fuel. You're joking. K-Slay, he's about to cross the line in third place. Well done to both Ferrari drivers. You're right, Richie Davey is out of fuel. His teammate, thankfully for Richie, he's not close enough to capitalise. Go on, Richie, limp it, get out and push like Mansell had to if you need to. It'll be a 4th place finish for Richie Davey. Let's see, who have we got in 5th? It's not letting me see. Rickster has got ahead. Andy Russell, and then it will be Charlie and Rickster and Adam 4600 here. I'm wondering if that's Charlie just ahead. It is Charlie, Rickster and Adam 4600 very, very close to the end here. Very, very close. But well done to all of the drivers that have made it to the end there. What a race. What a race. I know some of the viewers may be disappointed that some drivers didn't make it to the end, but okay, Hindle ran away with it, but for everyone else, what a race. Congratulations to Hindle on taking the victory in Suzuka, and for the Ferrari boys, both of them coming from the back of the grid to get on to the podium. They will be absolutely delighted with that one. And I did actually say to them, I was talking to them before we came on, and I says, I'm off to go and talk to Ray. Hopefully I'll speak to you guys on the podium. And you know what? We're going to be speaking to those guys on the podium. So Hindle had a penalty. Front Row Racing GP also had a penalty. A 5-second one. That's probably a bit of a dodgy illegal overtake there. But so Hindle, Front Row Racing GP, K-Slay, Richie Davey, Andy Russell, Adam 4600. Rickster loses the position to him from a penalty, but could be a dodgy one that. Charlie drops to both Adam and Rickster. With his penalties and 69, and Front Row Racing NW didn't quite manage to finish in 8th place, but did get a point, did finish in 10th. What a race. What a race. Go on then,
right,
race.
So what's your answer before I invite these guys in?
Well, the thing is, some of them will already be listening. They'll already be listening. So we'll get the guys in. I'll ask them the question, give them the chance to answer it, and then I'll give the answer. It's just if I give the answer now and then I ask the drivers, they may have already heard it and try and be really, really clever. So, Ray, can you please invite Hindle, Front Row Racing GP, and K-Slay into our podium booth? And for the viewers, if you've got any questions that you would like us to ask these 3 drivers, feel free to comment with your question at Ray and then your question. It'll make it easier for him to find. And apologies that I'm not giving the answer out straight away. If that hadn't all got a bit hectic at the end there, I would have given it, because the drivers would have been racing and wouldn't have been able to hear. But wow, what a race.
I'm not fighting. I'm going to strike until I get that answer.
Really? Well, I'm going on. I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. I want the podium drivers to have the baffledness of trying to work it out. I would be surprised if any of the viewers got it. But anyway, okay. If any of the... Come on, Ray. Invite them in. Invite them in.
I've invited them. I'm going to get a sheet of paper. I've got messages coming in.
Okay, so we wait then for Hindle from our Racing GP and Kay Slay to join us in the commentary box. Kay Slay has joined us. Welcome, Kay Slay. Hindle has joined us. Welcome, Hindle. And so we're just waiting for Front Row Racing GP to join us in the commentary box. So Kay Slay and Hindle, if you guys can just confirm that you have got your microphone set to share, so that the viewers can hear you. And we will get on to questioning them in a moment. So if you want to grab a towel off the table, throw a cap at each other, have a sip of water, dry off the wet bum patch that you always see on the back of Lewis Hamilton's overalls, the way you see that he wears red overalls under his Mercedes ones. I'm wondering, whether Front Row Racing GP, it's been that long since he's been on a podium, he's forgot that he's up for a podium interview. Is he on his way, Kendall?
He says he's not got an invite.
I sent him one.
Oh.
I'll send him another one, and I send him, just get messages coming in left, right and centre.
I'll send him... I can't, because you're the party host. I don't know.
Same.
Okay. Right, come on from our Racing GP. Hurry up, because the viewers want to know the answer to the question of the day.
There he is.
Is he joined us? I've not got the notification yet.
Yes.
Okay,
but
so...
his mic... Oh, there we go, he's here.
There we go. Okay, so Front Row Racing GP has joined us as well. Right, guys, can you all please make sure that you have got your microphone set to allow to be shared, and we'll get on to the podium interviews. But before we do that, I found myself in a situation where I'm going to have to ask you guys our question of the day and see if you know the answer. But when I ask it you, try not to give an answer that's too rude, please. So, here is the question of the day. What is a shy turd that comes once a week?
Not a clue.
It's baffled Kendall.
Full moon.
A full
Shy
moon.
turd.
A shy turd that comes once a week.
Don't Google it.
No, don't Google it. Would you like to know the answer?
Not got a clue.
I know the viewers do. Ray's been bugging me for an hour. Thursday!
A shy turd once a week. Oh.
Shy turd is an anagram of Thursday. Thursdays come round once a week. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Ray's going to hate me for that one. Okay.
Who wants to be the... At Ray... who wants to be the new Rachel Brooks? Get your CVs put in, please.
I'm sorry, Ray. I couldn't resist that one. Okay, on to the podium interviews then. The bit that all of the viewers are interested in. Hindle, very well done on the victory there. It looked like a good little battle between yourself and Hybrid Nuke, and then he disappears. So was it disappointment for you at that point, or was it sort of a bit of relief but then boring?
You've nailed it there. It was... I was looking forward to it because I knew it was quite evenly matched on pace, and it's shown for the first however many laps. And then he just said, Ivan Nuke has left the session. I was like, where have you gone? And then he left the party, so I kind of knew. So I was a bit disappointed for him, but then I was a bit of joy inside because that's doubled my lead in the championship.
Yeah, which has really annoyed him now. Really annoyed him. Question about qualifying. Did you get your timing a little bit wrong for your last flying lap, or was it just go out, if I need to do a lap, I can get there? but I might not have to? Or was it a miscalculation?
Well, I was daydreaming a bit. I wasn't even looking at my PlayStation. And then I seen the time, 2 minutes left. I thought, oh no, got out quick, but the pit lane's quite long, so I wouldn't have had enough time anyway.
You know what that is? It's them shy turds. They can creep up on you. Were you surprised as well that Rickster didn't set a lap time?
Yes and no, because I was watching him through the practice sessions and he didn't seem on the pace. So when I seen he didn't set a lap time, I think I probably knew he was going to do a two-stop. I mean, I don't know what happened to him, something must have happened to him.
What happened to him was, by the end of lap 1, he was in 4th place.
Yeah, I've seen it. Someone, the engineer, was telling me, I was like, well, he's going to be a big problem because he's on fresh tyres. Yes. And then he said he crashed.
Yeah, there was an incident, and he ended up with no front wing. Had to do a whole lap without a front wing. That kind of put him out of it. Okay, so you're out in front. Once hybrid's gone, you're not really racing anybody. You've got it comfortable. People are spamming you. They were told not to. How much of the rest of the race were you aware of, with you having that sort of time to just cruise to the line?
I don't know, I just kind of just sat there and chilled out, really. I mean, I knew I wasn't under any sort of pressure. I mean, I had a 20-second gap to GP and then the pit stop as well, so yeah, it was just pretty chilled out. I mean, I got the penalty because I was just being arrogant and I thought, right, I might as well push now, and early on. And then I got a penalty, so I thought, right, stupid mistake, I'll just chill out for the rest now.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it is a good idea. I mean, I think of it, I've been referred to being a bit similar to Jenson Button, but I sort of think of myself as a bit like Alan Prost. You only have to do what you need to do to get the points. So if you're out in front and you've got a gap, you don't have to go banging fastest laps in every lap. You just got to get to the finish line. But anyway, very well done on the victory there. I'm sure we'll be coming back to you in a few moments because I bet Ray's been writing questions down left, right and centre. We'll move on to second place. From a racing GP, where the bloody hell did that come from?
Well, what could have been, eh?
Yeah, I mean, okay, qualifying. I mean, I spotted it just as the ticker got down to 0, your name disappeared off the list. You're out of the qualifying session. We knew what that meant. The viewers knew what that meant. What was going on? How frantic was the panic in the living room at that point?
Well, very frantic. I actually scared the kids and the missus. The missus ran off outside. Basically, I lost the internet, but I hadn't realised that the broadband had dropped out. I thought the game had crashed and everyone had, been disconnected. So I tried resetting the PlayStation, but it froze. So I had to pull the cable out of the back of the PlayStation to switch it off. So when you turn it back on again, it takes forever to load back up. Then I found out I got no connection to the internet, so I had to reset the hub. Did that, and then it dropped out again.
Oh dear.
So, and I'm looking at the clock thinking it's nearly 7:45, and I'm thinking even if I get back on, I'm probably not going to get in qualifying.
Yeah.
As in get to race.
Yeah.
I was just...
So I think we can all understand how frustrating that'd be, and I think you might be having to buy a few people some, I was going to say boxes of chocolates, but do not buy boxes of chocolates for diabetics. It's not a good idea. Flowers, get
Unless
flowers.
They've got low sugar count and then they need to boost it, but yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, okay, on to the start of the race. You get into the race, and did you start on the prime tyre?
I did. I started on the prime. I mean, the main thought there was I've got a lot of cars ahead of me. There are probably going to be some collisions, or I just need to just keep out of trouble. Unfortunately, I got caught up in one, but I didn't get any damage. 2 cars in front of me, couldn't remember who it was in the S's, or the knuckles as you like to call them. And I think it was Charlie got a bit of a tank slapper after a bit of contact. I touched his rear and it spun me completely round, so I was all the way back to the back again. But yeah, it was just a matter of seeing what the tyres were like on those aeros, because I'd never run those aeros around there before.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I kind of know what sort of aeros you would have been running, and we all know what aeros you were running, the 6.6. So was it good in that Sector 1 and Sector 2 and shocking in Sector 3?
Yes, until I pitted, and I have no idea how many times I told it to reduce the front wing, but when I came out the pits, I think I must have been running 1.6.
So there was a bit of an aero change. Okay, at what point then? I mean, I clocked on when you made your prime, you've finished your prime stint. I clocked on. You can do a 2-stop option. At what point for you though did it clock? Hang on, I've got a chance of second place here.
It was at the point when I asked Kendall what tyres is he going to finish the race on.
Yeah.
Because as soon as Kendall said primes, I thought, I've got a chance there because I'm going to be behind him and on the options.
Yeah.
So there was always that possibility. But I did say to him, if the race came back to him towards the end and he closed the gap back in again, he could have the position.
Yeah.
But fair play to him, he said he didn't want it.
Fair enough. Well, having said that, well done on what can only be described as a fantastic drive to get from the back of the grid to up to second place. And as you say, what could have been if you were on your own setup? Yeah. Probably what would have been is you'd have probably lost your front wing.
I mean, I must just add one extra thing. I know that you don't like people waffling on, but the one thing that helped me more than anything in that whole race was Acorn taking out Davey Arp. Great, brilliant, saw them disappear off into the wall, thought, yes.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I don't know if they had a couple of comings together, but the one coming together that we saw, they both lost their wing, it put them right to the back, and it did benefit both the Ferrari drivers. But very well done on the second place there. We'll move on now to K-Slay. K-Slay, I've got to say, very well done. And I did say to the both of you, hopefully I'll speak to you on the podium, I didn't bloody mean it, but well done. Although I've got a feeling, a bit of mixed emotion, perhaps for yourself, because we did spot in qualifying, you appeared to be blocked a little bit on one of your flying laps, and then the car went and pitted. So qualifying a little frustrating, I would guess.
Yeah, just a little bit.
But in hindsight, okay, you didn't get a time in. I would guess you got to choose what tyre you started on.
Yeah, I started on fresh options, but at the start, I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the McLarens. Had a collision with Nightwalker, which put me into a bit of a spin.
Yeah.
So I was playing catch up for the first 2-3 laps, but as you mentioned, so that helped a little bit.
It did. I mean, you've shown once again that you've got pace. Qualifying hasn't quite been going your way. You didn't lose your wing on the first lap, so you didn't have to make that extra stop, but you did come through the field very well. Strategy-wise, you went different to your teammate. You went option prime. Was that sort of always your plan to go option prime?
I was debating between a 2 and a 3. Because I'd lost so much time early on, I thought I may as well stay on track and stick to a 2, because I wouldn't get the time back doing a 3. And my only option, because of the tyre wear, was to do prime. And I said to GP during the second stint that he'd have me at the end, and I knew he would, so I just let him go.
Well, what was also interesting about that was obviously Richie Davey was in the battle with you two as well. There was a bit of a gap, but obviously there was a little bit of overtaking. He made a pit stop. I think it must have been about lap 18, 9. Was it 16? It was quite an early stop.
Went 16, he went 16 options.
Yeah, exactly.
I said that to Steve.
So when he did that and you put the primes on, I mean, we kind of knew, Richie's not getting to the end. I'm guessing you knew he's not getting to the end. Did that kind of make you think, right, I can go primes and get to the end, he's not going to catch me? Or was it doesn't matter what he does, I'm doing this?
Well, the option was going to go. The choice here rather was to go on the primes. I didn't initially see what tire he was on, but he was pulling away. So I gathered he was on options, and then I think he pitted again on 22,
23, yeah. Yeah.
And he was closing at the end. I think he ran out of fuel.
He did. He was pushing hard. I mean, the gap was coming down. Was there any panic, any thought of, oh great, he's going to catch me? Or was it not enough for him to fear you?
Well, I could see him on the map, but I didn't have a time. Didn't give me any time for him. And I seen he was closing, but with about 2 laps left, I thought he was a little bit far. So if I just kept it clean, I thought I would have been alright.
And you was. So very well done to yourself there. I've got to say very well done to all 3 of the podium drivers. We'll quickly go over to Ray. Ray, do you have any questions for the drivers from our viewers?
Yes, GP, how did you get your penalty?
Interesting one. I'm going to be appealing it. Even not that it's going to make any difference to the finishing position, but I think I'm going to appeal it just because to show you can appeal certain penalties. It was an illegal overtake when 2 cars went off track from a collision. I drove past them and I got an illegal overtake penalty when they were off the track.
That answers that one. Next question.
Next question was from Drew, and he said, make me a question, Ray. So I made him a question, will any of you guys be his engineer?
Ooh. Will any of you guys be Drew's engineer for the FRRI days?
If we've got time.
I would say I would, but I avoid doing Fridays because I do enough in the other days.
Well, I tell you what though, Drew, if Hindle says he will, take him up on the offer. Next question.
This is from Hybrid Nick. Well done, Hindle. Congrats on winning championship. How relieved were you when I disconnected?
How much have you had to edit that one, Ray?
Not at all. Not at all.
The championship's not over. You know what I mean? That's the best disconnection he's had all year. So it can happen to me. It can happen to me too. 3 races in a row. You don't know in today's world. The internet's supposed to be very good, but it lets you down at the wrong time, doesn't it?
It does.
Needs to feed that hamster at the right time then.
Okay, next question. Hang on.
GP.
I think Hindle was just finishing off there.
Yeah, I'll just say it's not over. Definitely not over.
Okay, next question.
GP, this is from Hammertime 44. Didn't you consider to do option prime yesterday like I did as the conditions were hot?
Yes and no. It was always there as a choice, but it was down to how well the options coped in that middle stint. And if I knew I could get 8 laps out of them, then I was going to do options again. So basically that answers your question. See how the options were in middle stint, and if they worked for me, then I'd carry on with them.
Good answer. Next question.
Handel, how did you feel after you heard Mercedes drivers were out?
Well, I knew from that point, if I was to score any points, well not any points, I think 9 or 10, that we'd have the constructors. I think, are they second in the constructors?
They are, and that's a good point actually. Where? With them not scoring any points, it may confirm Victoria's Secret Williams Racing as the constructors champions. We'll have to wait for the review on Tuesday for definite confirmation of that, but I'd open a little bottle of champagne, but not the big one just yet.
Okay. It depends how far behind GP and Keighley were, doesn't it?
Exactly, because they have
got
just
more points than us.
Yeah, they've just got a good haul of points. Okay, next question.
Well, we haven't left out Casey. Casey, could you have caught the Interman GP?
Ooh.
No.
I'm going to add on to that question. We discussed both of your guys' phase of the race at the end, primes and options, and I know that Nightwalker has discussed it on World Championship comms before about teammates letting each other through, and I said at the time the best thing these guys can do is K-Slay lets GP through. He's on the faster tyre. Let him go and harass Richie Davey. K-Slay will catch him up as well. So for you two as teammates, was it a conscious, right, you're on the faster tyre, I'll let you go, we're both going to do him anyway, or was there something else to it?
There was
that's literally exactly what I said to him. I said to him, you go past me, you'll get him easily. And once we found out it was on options, that obviously gave me the chance to get him in the end.
Yeah, as we were discussing it, we didn't know what tyres Rich Davey was on. So basically, we was assuming, worst case scenario, he's on the primes, he's going to the end. So that's why Kendall let me go to try and chase him down, basically. Yeah,
and I do think it's right as well that in that situation, as teammates, like you said, Steve, if K-Slay was able to catch you up towards the end of the stint, your tyres go off, his are good, you return the favour and go on, mate, take the place back.
Always will.
Yeah. I
Always
mean,
will. It doesn't have to be the same race he gives me the positioning, because he's helped me out this race. I have no problem giving him a position in another race.
Yeah. Okay, next question.
JP, even though I've got 7th for this race, I'm gunning for your 3rd place in the standings.
That's for Rickster. That's for Rickster, that is, I
bet. Keep wishing, boy.
I think the only pressure Steve's going to be feeling tonight is the pillow his missus is holding. Don't you shout at me over a PlayStation game again! Which is covering his face, but anyway. Okay.
No. There's more pressure. He's cheating.
Don't go saying that.
Not on the missus, on the lover.
Oh, right. Well, yeah, that's true. We do not need to be starting divorce procedures. Thank you very much. Okay, Ray, do we have any more questions?
Not any more questions. I have driver comments, but I'll leave them.
Okay, yeah, we'll allow the drivers to make their way. Well done to Hindle, well done to Front Racing GP, and well done to K-Slay. Fantastic race from all three of you there. A fantastic race from everybody that finished, to be honest. So well done to you guys. You are now welcome to drop your microphones. Like they do in a rap battle, and make your way out of the commentary box. And thank you very much for your time, and we shall see you next week. For the viewers, don't worry, we're going to hang on a few more moments. Well done, K-Slay. Well done for our Racing GP.
Thank you. See you.
We'll hang on a few moments. Once those guys have gone, we'll get to drivers' comments that did not get onto the podium interviews. So, Ray, what comments do we have from other drivers?
Dave the Hart, not Front Row Racing. Dave the Hart. He wasn't happy with what happened, and then the pit crew put old tyres on after the crash, and the car wasn't handling any good. Rickster was gutted that he hit that wall. Don't know what wall. Can't remember. Best first lap I've ever had.
It was a good first lap. I tell you what, that first lap he had was almost as good as Farfba's first lap from China last season. Last to first, I think Farfba did. Rickster, very nearly last to fourth. It was a phenomenal first lap. Unfortunately, he lost his wing a few laps into it.
Yeah, all the talk centred on the Mercedes at the moment. And I've got a question for you.
Oh dear.
What about the squirrel?
Well, you see, the squirrel lives in Monza and he doesn't like to fly. Even though there are rumours that squirrels can fly, they can't, they can float. And since Monza, we've been to Spa. He doesn't like going to Spa because he just pigs out on chocolate and he ends up alright. If you've not seen the film Spaceman, where the two spacemen are connected together by a tube and one farts down the tube into the other ones and it expands. He ends up like that. And if you haven't seen it, have a look for it on YouTube. It's brilliant. Just type in Spaceman fart scene. It's brilliant. And since then, we've been to Singapore. We don't take him over there. And Japan. We don't take him over there. So he may return.
He could get eaten.
Exactly, he could get eaten. I mean, last season, he made a reappearance in America and he got chased by a hunter. So, yeah, we have to be careful with him now that he's got his family and his band. Okay, any other comments?
No, that's it. That's them all.
Okay.
Just that Mercedes crash. It's the talk of the moment, and we'll leave the stewards to sort that out if it goes on.
That we will. Now, I think someone needs to tell Ray
Somebody's trying to get me disconnected.
that's a ringtone from the 80s. That is. That's not one of them phones that's got a face dial, has it? Anyway, we won't go on to that. For all of the viewers that tried answering the question of the day and didn't get the answer and were angry with me with what the answer was, what do you expect? I'm going to make it a little bit cryptic, aren't I? I found it very funny. Anyway, thank you very much to all of the viewers for watching, for sending messages. I think we've hit about 260 messages on this video, 261. So a lot of messages. Ray's going to end up with sore fingers, but I tell you what, Ray, me and you are probably going to sleep very, very well tonight, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. Okay, next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be tomorrow evening, 7:30 p.m. for the FRRI Days Cup. That's the feeder series into our F1 leagues. Now, usually I would say if you're interested in joining, send us a message. But I'm not going to say that at the moment because we've got about 18, 19 drivers that have been trying to get in, and I've now had to implement a sort of system regarding the invites. So at the moment, we're not going to take on any new drivers. But if you are interested, keep watching and check us out on Facebook. Send a message showing your interest if you like, and if the time does come that we can invite you in, we'll give it a try. So yeah, 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. That's for round 15 at Russia. That's going to be a track that's going to be very difficult for a few of the drivers with the new FIA strict ruling. So FRRI Days drivers, I hope you've been having a look at the FRR stewards guides. They are there to help you, not hurt you. They're there to help you. Always check them out. Okay. And then the next thing on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be the PCF, the Project Cars Fridays League. It's back. It starts again tomorrow, Ray.
Yes.
Woohoo! In the Lotus Type D7 or Lotus 72D type something. Basically, it's a 1970s Formula One car. 10 race season. Starts tomorrow, round 1, Monza. That should be about 9 p.m. And that'll be live on the YouTube channel as well. Okay, time to bring this to an end. So, Ray, thank you very much for your assistance and for your busy fingers on YouTube this evening.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And I can't wait till tomorrow. Especially PCFs.
Yep.
I'm going to have a try on that car and see how it goes round that track.
I would if I was you, and I won't give you a question of the day tomorrow either. Okay, one final thank you to all of the viewers and to the drivers for taking part. We've been Front Row Racing. This has been the Front Row Racing World Series. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.